The Sixth Amendment guarantees the rights of criminal defendants, including the right to a public trial without unnecessary delay, the right to a lawyer, the right to an impartial jury, and the right to know who your accusers are and the nature of the charges and evidence against you. It has been mostly visibly tested in a series of cases involving terrorism, but much more often figures in cases that involve, for example, jury selection or the protection of witnesses, including victims of sex crimes, as well as witnesses in need of protection from retaliation.
What's up, my good people in the YouTube world? This is your boy, the Mass YouTuber, and I'm right back up at y'all with another video. And today, we're gonna get into a topic in which I keep running into while reading the book, The Grim Sleeper, The Lost Women of South Central. Now, it's a great book, and anyone interested in reading that book, I will drop a link down in the description, all right? But the topic that I want to talk about is a subtopic within a much larger situation. And that situation is the relationship that the people of the community in South Central have had with police officers. And this situation is very, very deep and it goes back a long time. But I want to attack a subtopic within that larger topic, all right? And before we get into it, we got to speak about the climate of Los Angeles back in the 1980s, all right? And if anyone concerned with serial killers and the things that was happening in the area, they will know that there were actively about 6 serial killers preying upon people within the same pool of people, and that were prostitutes that were addicted to drugs. And while some people will look at these people and not consider them human, I am different. I believe that these people were human and they have a voice and their story needs to be told, all right? I'm gonna read a selection of the book. So be live, take it away.
At 1:30 a.m. on February 23rd, 1989, 77th Division Officer Mike Acevedo and his partner Ron Snoopy Smith were on patrol in the area when they spotted a parked blue Ford Tempo with a couple sitting inside. As the officers walked toward the car, the driver peeled away. The officers sped off in pursuit, and after they flashed their lights, the man pulled over. The officers ordered the couple out of the car. The male driver, whose belt was unbuckled and pants were unbuttoned, was staggering and leaning on his car for support. The driver identified himself as Rickey Ross, a Los Angeles County Department sheriff. Ross, a 41-year-old African-American veteran narcotics officer, was driving a county-leased unmarked car. "What's the problem?" Ross said. Incensed that the officers had pulled him over, "I wouldn't arrest you for drinking." His passenger, Jimmy Joanne McGee, a prostitute who exchanged sexual favors for drugs, told the officers they were smoking marijuana, but then changed her story and admitted it was cocaine. Ross responded, "Man, she is lying. The only dope in that car is a package I have court tomorrow. You can search the whole car. The only thing I did with her was drink a Pepsi," he added. "I don't know if the bitch put anything in it." Officer Smith opened the trunk and found a rusted, loaded 9mm Beretta semi-automatic pistol and an evidence envelope containing cocaine. Ross was arrested for driving under the influence and taken to the 77th Division Station. McGee was arrested on a traffic warrant. At the station, Ross told a police sergeant that he screwed up. "I was out there trying to get a head job." McGee told the same sergeant that Ross picked her up around 12:30 a.m. near the Snooty Fox Motel on Western Avenue and asked her if she wanted to get high. He said Ross had a chip of rock cocaine. which they smoked through holes they punched in a Pepsi can. Ross tossed the can out the passenger window when he spotted the police. At 3:15 a.m., Ross was turned over to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department lieutenant. Ross, who was part of the Drug Enforcement Agency task force at LAX, told the lieutenant he had been drinking earlier in the evening with a drug enforcement officer from Minnesota in town for 2 weeks of training. Ross said he was driving through downtown LA on his way home when McGee flagged him down. She was cute and he felt sorry for her and wanted to help her out, he said. Ross said McGee told him she was from Colorado, had no money, and was willing to do anything for cash. Ross said they drove around looking for a secluded spot so he could get a little head. On the way, he stopped at a store and brought McGee a Pepsi. Ross said she suggested going to a motel, but he only had $2 and was fearful she was going to set him up. Ross said he was concerned when McGee pulled out some cocaine, but more concerned about getting some head. Ross's pants were down around his thighs when he saw a car pulling up behind him with no headlights, and he drove off. When he realized the car telling him was a police vehicle, he pulled over. After speaking to his attorney, Ross declined to speak anymore with the police and refused to provide a urine sample. McGee told a captain at the station that Ross had been throwing up a lot and had told her that he had been mixing his drinks earlier in the evening and doing tabs, street jargon for LSD. 3 hours and 15 minutes after Ross was taken into custody, he was administered a breathalyzer test and he passed. About 1 hour later, a drug recognition expert evaluated Ross and said that he didn't appear to be under the influence of any substance. However, an examination of his nasal cavity, pupil size, and pulse rate was consistent with cocaine usage. Ross was released to the sheriff's lieutenant, who drove him to his home in Rialto, a city in nearby San Bernardino County. The confiscated pistol, which was badly rusted from rain, was sent for ballistics testing. Ross's gun came back a ballistics match to the slugs dug out of the 3 prostitutes, and he was arrested at his home. The Pepsi can, which officers later went back to pick up, was subjected to a chemical and physical analysis and came back positive for cocaine. Police identified both McGee and Ross's fingerprints on the can. 3 weeks after Ross's arrest, a ballistics expert hired by Ross's attorney concluded that Ross's 9mm gun was not the weapon used to kill 3 prostitutes, Walker, Johnson, and Simpson. In May, the district attorney's office agreed to have the gun examined by 2 independent experts in Northern California to resolve the conflicting test results. The first expert concluded that the gun wasn't a match. The second examination, conducted by the California Department of Justice, concluded that while Ross's gun could not be completely ruled out, the likelihood that the gun was used in the murders was minimal. The murder case against Ross rapidly unraveled. Ross, who had put in a resignation letter citing personal reasons on April 27th, the same day he was fired from the force, was soon to be a free man. Los Angeles Police Department ballistics experts have re-examined their test results in view of the opinions of other experts and have changed their earlier opinion. Deputy District Attorney William Hodgman said in a written statement, "They cannot now say that it was the defendant's gun that was the murder weapon. Therefore, there's presently no convincing evidence that Rickey Ross committed these crimes." However, the LAPD refused to concede the blunder. The gun has not been ruled in with 100% certainty, and it hasn't been ruled out with any degree of certainty, Commander William Booth told the Los Angeles Times. Booth did tell the Times that the department has started an internal administrative review to figure out why their ballistic examiners connected Ross guns to the slaying when the other side experts did not.
Alright, thank you, B-Live. Now, after reading that story, it makes me think about certain things, and that is this. Imagine if Officer Rickey Ross didn't have the money to hire people to look at the evidence that the police department looked at. Would this man still be in prison for these crimes, for killing 3 women in which he had no connection to? If he didn't fight that case, would he still be in prison today, allowing the person who actually did those crimes to walk away? And that also gets me to thinking about all the people who didn't have proper representation, who were basically going down for crimes that they didn't commit. This is a human rights issue. This is not an issue of economics, all right? Nobody's economics should afford them the right to not have proper representation in court. And I think that this is a bigger issue in which we need to deal with as people. The amount of money that I have should not represent or should not, dictate if I'm going to prison for a crime in which I did not commit. All right? Now, I have 2 more stories that's similar to this. So if y'all like this topic, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more videos. And I'm up out here. And once again, thank everybody for watching. This is the Mass YouTuber, and I'm up out here. Yeah.